Bank joins us on the phone line. Remember, Vijaya Bank has cut its base rate by nearly 15 basis points, close to around that 9.85% mark. So thanks a lot for joining in, Mr. Sansi. First up, at 9.85%, your base rate is still higher than most of the other banks. So with this cut that you have taken, how much of an incremental credit offtake or benefit that you see to your books arising on the back of this base cut?
This 9.85% is one amongst the lowest as far as the public sector banks is concerned. And this is in addition to the last cut which we had on 1st June when we had reduced it by 25 basis point. So continuously going, we have reduced the base rate by 40 basis point in the last 3 months or so. Looking into the market, the credit offtake is muted and it has become more interest sensitive. That's how, the ALCO committee on its meeting held a day before yesterday decided to further reduce the interest rates. With this cut, we are expecting that we will get a major share of the retail, especially the house and the car segment. We have also announced the festival bonanza in which there is a cut on the processing and the commitment charges. So we are expecting our retail credit to grow by about 40% with this rate cut in times to come.
Okay, so retail credit to go up by 40% because of this base rate cut as well as the onset of the festive season. But sir, could you tell us what impact it will have on your net interest margins?
It would have a very, very marginal impact. In fact, the ALCO committee deliberated for quite some time and we had done all the calculations. And the benefit which is likely to come in terms of the improved credit is much more than the reduction, the adverse impact it would have on a net interest margin.
All right, Mr. Sansi, then talking about your numbers then, the last quarter y'all did see a worsening in the asset quality. So how has Q2 of this fiscal been for you?
Before that, the cost of deposit has been continuously coming down. So it stands at 7.40 as of now, and the net interest margin, which was 1.88% as on 31st December 14, so it improved to 2.13% as on 30th June, and we can expect a further improvement in the September quarter. Then the asset quality, yes, we are still, struggling with some consortium infrastructure accounts, and then the Rajasthan Discom is also, we are discussing with the state government authorities and the state discoms. But for these few consortium accounts and the discom accounts, I think our asset quality should not pose any further challenge.
Okay. So one bank has actually cut the base rate by nearly 35 basis points just a few days ago. I know your cumulative cut is 40 basis points, but is there a scope, according to you, to cut base rates even further if the other banks follow suit and match yours? Because then you would lose the competitive advantage. Do you see scope to cut base rates even further?
The ALCO committee will have to take cognizance at that point of time, looking into the market scenario and the competitiveness in the banking industry.
Okay. You also indicated that the cost of deposit has come down to 7.4%. Very recently, the RBI came out with a draft guidelines where they indicated that the base rate should now be calculated based on the marginal cost of funding. So let's assume if that is going to be, if we hypothetically, take that, so based on the marginal cost of funding, what would be the base rate, just to understand?
I can't hear.
Okay, Mr. Sansi, I just wanted to understand, very recently, the RBI had come out with draft guidelines where they indicated that maybe from 1st of April 2016, they would consider that base rates should now be based on the marginal cost of funding.
Yes.
If that were the case, then what would be the base rate for a bank like Vijaya Bank?
We'll have to work on it, but definitely I think it's going to hit our net interest margin considerably, and we'll have to actually work on the what kind of an incremental marginal cost of fund is at that point of time when it gets implemented.
Okay. And generally, could you give us a sense of, I know you spoke about a few consortium, a few clusters of weakness, but how have the slippages recoveries been in this quarter?
Recovery has been our main focus during this quarter, and we are seeing a lot of good recovery, especially in the agriculture and the SMEs. And I think on a whole, this quarter should be extremely good for the recovery, and the similar trend is likely to continue in the Q3.
All right. Thanks a lot for joining us and giving us all those details. That was the MD and CEO of Vijaya Bank indicating that the retail loan book will grow by 40% on the back of the base rate cut that they've taken. We'll sit on a short break.